Cody Smith.
And welcome to the Wall News Podcast, your digital Main Street. See what I did there?
Very nice.
What do you think?
That was good.
Do you think somebody wrote that?
I mean, I'm sure somebody did.
Yeah.
I took a week off and already you're changing stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you're back. Dan was great, but
Dan did do a good job.
we got to talk about your vacation and
I wouldn't call it a vacation. I'm sure, as you both know, Disney is not a vacation. It is more of a trip, and your feet hurt, and it's not relaxing.
18
it's
hours
for
a
the
day,
kids.
18-hour days.
Oh, dude, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
But the kids will never forget it.
No, and the weather was great. No rain for the first time I've ever gone down there, so no complaints.
That's awesome. Rich Pelosi's here. Say hello, Rich.
Hello.
Rich, I got a stock question for you.
Yeah.
What's going on with Tesla?
So a lot of downgrades from the big analysts. They just had earnings yesterday in the afternoon. The numbers weren't too great. They missed, but they seem to like it. They like the future outlooks, and my opinion is I think that the technology, the driving car stuff, the autonomy, if they sell that to other companies, which is their idea from what I understand, that could be a point there. And I think they just announced the new the $30,000 Tesla, the cheaper one.
Okay, so mass producing.
That could be cool, yeah.
So hold, don't sell, don't fold, hold.
I'd probably hold.
Hold?
Still, yeah, especially, if you had
What's the number where you want to sell?
I like to hold forever.
Hold forever? I mean, it is Elon Musk after all, right?
Yeah.
And they have AI technology
Yeah,
that
they've
they're
got
working
AI
on, right?
stuff too.
That Microsoft and Google wants to get their hands on?
They've got their own. Everybody's got their own stuff now. It's going to come down to whose stuff is better in the long run.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that, Rich.
Yeah, definitely.
Chime in anytime, Rich.
Absolutely.
All right, we got a great show for everybody today. We have Coach Jim Rochford from Wall Varsity Baseball. A little bio for Coach Rox here. Was the varsity assistant baseball coach at Wall High School for 24 seasons before being named the Crimson Knights head baseball coach in 2019. Coach Rock is the son of former Brick High School head coach Jim Roxford and succeeded Todd Schmidt, who retired as the Crimson Knights head coach in 2019 after 22 seasons. Jim is a 1992 Wall High School graduate. Coach Rock, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. This is great. I got to congratulate you on your research. That was, I don't know where you found your information out, but you guys put some thought and effort into getting my bio.
We have our ways.
Yeah.
We have our ways. We have our useful devices.
Thank God for the internet.
We got to be prepared. We haven't seen you in like 20 years, but you look great.
There you go.
So we got to start off with, we know a little bit about your background, but can you give us a little more? You said you went to Wall High School in 92. What was the program like back then? And what was the high school like back then?
Well, the high school is a lot different. So
Yeah.
a lot different than what you remember. The E-hallway, the science wing, that was never there. The big gym, that was new. That wasn't there. That stuff didn't get added on until, I think, year 2000 it opened. Varsity baseball field was at the school. It was all the way in the back corner.
I remember that. Yeah.
Where I think the JV softball field is now.
Yep.
Yes, that's where we played our home games. I remember we used to have to chase foul balls. Foul balls would go up on 138. They would go on a jug handle. We would have to wait for the traffic, for the red light, wait for the cars, and run across to the meeting, get your foul balls, come running back.
Was there a fence in center field? I don't remember.
There was sort of the left field fence was the
track.
fence for the track.
Yeah.
And then as you got out to left center, they would put a yellow snow fence.
Okay.
And,
Yep.
it came all the way around the right field.
And then was it some games at Municipal or no?
That they started playing at Municipal. We played some night games when I was in high school there.
Yeah.
And then they started to use it as their home field. It was around 1994. I think they started to use that as their home field.
And what was it like? What was the program like back then?
When I was there, we were like 500, a little bit
Yeah.
above, a little bit below. Remember my senior year, I think we had a shot late in the season to win the division, and we lost out to Point Borough. We lost first round of state tournament my senior year. I remember Hamilton West. So we were average. It was basically average back then.
Were you the oldest guy on the team? Was there young talent then? I know the Sookies played then, and
Yeah, they were. So John and Dave were. John and Dave were sophomores my senior year. They both started.
yeah.
I think Dave. I could be wrong. One. I'll just put that. One was at second. One was at center.
I think Dave was at second.
Okay, John was
John
in
was
the outfield.
John was the outfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was coaching back then?
So my sophomore year, So ironically, my sophomore year, I played JV. Harry Matson was the head coach. He started in 1971. That was his last year.
Wow.
1990 was his last year as head coach. And then Angelo Urbano took over my junior and senior year. But ironically, the funny thing was my sophomore year when I played JV, my JV coach was Todd Schmidt.
Can't get away from this guy.
He was my JV coach, and then I ended up coaching with him for 20-some-odd years.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for 30 years, if you can include that, right?
Yeah, a long time.
Wow.
Known him
a lot of presidents, a lot of history there.
Known him quite some time.
We're definitely going to get to that. And what position did you play in high school?
I was a catcher.
You were a catcher?
Yeah, that's all. That was it. I didn't play anywhere else.
You a big Bull Durham fan?
It's my favorite. one of my top 2-3 baseball movies.
Did you see yourself as Crash Davis when you were out there in high school, or was that later?
I wasn't that good. Yeah, but that's a great movie.
Did you ever have to do anything crafty like that? Like, in the movie, you've seen Bull Durham, right?
No, have not.
Oh, hockey guy.
Oh man,
we're gonna have a movie night at your house.
I don't know if you'd fully understand it.
Yeah, maybe because he didn't play baseball.
No.
But so Kevin Costner is a catcher,
okay,
and he's more of like a psychologist, really.
Yeah,
I mean, trying to bring this guy up, but played by Tim Robbins, Nuke Lelouch, right?
Yeah.
And did you ever have those psychological or moments where you had to go up there and calm a guy down or talk him out of something, or do you ever have to do things like that?
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the guys are pretty good, though. They, more normal walk kids, level-headed kids.
Yeah.
They didn't have too many issues.
Okay, gotcha. Did you continue that in college? Did you play in college at all?
Yeah, so I played. I went to Brookdale, played 2 years there. Caught at Brookdale. And then that's when I actually played a little outfield, too, my sophomore year. And then
Where'd they stick you in the outfield?
right field.
Nice.
We had two very, very, very good teams. My freshman year, we went to the College World Series, finished third in the country.
Wow.
And that was my freshman year. Sophomore year, we were actually better. We were 40. I think we were 41-2. Number one team in the country, and we lost back-to-back games in the regional finals to Morris County. Never made it to the College World Series.
Oh, God.
I think we finished 41-4, but we had six. I think it was 6 kids got drafted off those 2 teams.
Wow.
Jersey Blues.
Yeah, we were very, very
Big
good.
deal. Who was your coach then?
Mr. McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went to Monmouth University, played in the fall of my junior year, and then I stopped playing. And then that spring, my junior year, was when I first started coaching.
Okay. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, that's when I got into coaching. Was
right out the gate.
My junior year of college. I was at Monmouth, and then I got a job coaching.
Did you know that, like, hey, when baseball's over for me, I'm gonna be coaching, or how did that decision come about?
I was actually a criminal justice major, and I was going to become a police officer. And I stopped playing, and I remember going home and telling my father, now that I'm not playing, I think I'm going to go over to high school and see if Mr. Urbano needs help. I got 60 college credits. I can help out. See if he has anything. And he was the one that suggested, why don't you see if you can get a paid job?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea how to get one. And he showed me that there was a opening for JV baseball coach at Manchester. I put in for it, applied, and I got it. So my first 2 years coaching, which was my junior and senior year of college, I was coaching at Manchester.
Nice.
And then I ended up coming over to Wall after that.
You cut your teeth in Manchester. What'd you learn down there as a coach, if anything?
Well, actually, when I was down in Manchester, that's what got me into coaching football too. So I was went down there in '95. I was coaching the JV team. Met the head football coach. He said he had an opening, and I said I played a little high school football. He said he had a wide receiver, defensive back opening. Asked if I wanted to do it. I said I know nothing about football. I said you're gonna have to teach me a little bit. So that fall, I was coaching football, and it was the middle of the season. And we played Wall, and we were playing them at Manchester. And it was pregame, and I saw Mr. Schulte, Coach Schulte, who was my coach. Unfortunately, just passed away recently.
Mm-hmm.
So he saw me in pregame and said, I had no idea you were coaching. And I explained to him how I got into it. And he goes, well, I'm getting rid of my defensive back wide receiver coach. Do you want it? And I said, yeah. So he hired me in pregame.
Wow. So it's kind of like meant to be.
Yeah, to come back to Wall. So I remember going home.
And you were back the next week? You went back to Wall the next week?
Yeah, I went back to Manchester. I never said anything to those guys. But I remember going home, my dad saying, how'd you guys do? I got hired at Wall. He's like, what are you talking about? So
quick turnaround.
So then that I went, the next year, 96, I coached for JV at Manchester. And then in 96 football season, I was at Wall. And halfway through the season, Coach Urbano came up to me. He was a history teacher at the time.
Yeah.
And said, I need a varsity assistant. Would you like it? So at that point now, I'm fully invested in the Wall. And that's how I ended up coaching at Wall.
You still talk to Mr. Urbano?
No.
He's retired, right? He's retired in Florida?
He's retired. He's down in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Schmidt emails with him every now and again, but I haven't seen him in years since he's retired.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he was, when we were up, he was vice principal.
Principal, yeah. That was the guy you didn't want to say.
Well, he saw me once.
Yeah.
I did, when I did the morning announcements, I dressed up like Tony Montana. And I was like, say hello to my I did that whole thing. And he's like, hey, you can't do that.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like Mr. Urbano, but like I'm a movie character here. I'm not trying to.
He was very serious. Very serious
no-nonsense guy.
I'm Al Pacino. Well, I mean, that gets us to, we have 24 years with Coach Schmidt, but it obviously goes back 30. So what's your relationship like with Coach Schmidt?
Oh, great. Yeah, I talk to him daily.
He's retired now, right?
He's retired, yeah.
Good for him.
He plays the banjo a little bit on his front porch in Point. That's
Love it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but no, he's good. I talk to him daily. I text him, call him. Yeah, we've been close ever since I know him. He's like a brother to me. We actually went last June. We took a trip down to South Carolina, to Coastal Carolina, because we had the first round of NCAA regions. Coastal hosted, and Teddy Sharkey played for Coastal, who played for us. John Volpe was at Ryder, who played for us, and Andrew Fisher was playing for Duke. And all three of those schools were down there. So two of us went down, hung out, and got to see those guys play. It was fun.
Oh,
that's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys finish each other's sentences? Like, how does it work? Do you know what he's thinking before he's thinking it, or vice versa?
I got a pretty good sense when we were coaching together.
Yeah.
What
Like they just give each other a look.
Yeah. No, and then we coached football together. We coached freshman football together. So yeah, we've been around together for a long time.
You can't not like Mr. Schmidt. I mean, he was just a great teacher.
Oh yeah,
coach,
absolutely.
All around great guy.
And he was I came in during high school. He was the middle school PE teacher.
Yeah, he was always in. Yeah, well, in the beginning he was at the high school. I think when I was a freshman,
right.
And then he
I had him
went to the middle school and stayed there.
And then going back to Mr. Urbano, Mr. Urbano had he had a health emergency 93, 94. Coach Schmidt took over and then they won states. Is that the story?
Yes. Well, actually, my senior year, he got hit in batting practice with a line drive and broke his jaw in 3 places. So that was the first one.
Okay.
Then he had I think it was a heart attack in 94. And he had to step away. Yeah, and then Todd came in and took over, and they won a state championship in 94.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they were very good in 95. They I think they won a state section, lost in the Shore Conference Finals, I think, in 95. Yeah, they had 2 back-to-back really good teams.
Yeah. Who's the catcher they had? Do you remember?
Mike LaRocco.
LaRocca. He was a big guy. He used to hit dingers.
Yeah, he graduated in 94.
He was a 94 guy.
Yes.
Because I was 9, I used to go to the games. My dad worked with Mr. Sookie, John Sookie, Sr. So we used to go to the games all the time. And, being 9 years old and seeing, an 18-year-old, I think was he catcher or first base?
No,
he caught.
Yeah.
Seeing this guy who was 18 look like he was 25, 30, hitting dingers. I was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
absolutely. At that age. So in our research, we found a quote from Coach Schmidt, and he talked about learning from Matson and Urbano. What do you think you've learned from Coach Schmidt?
Biggest thing was probably don't worry about things you can't control. I remember he would always say to me, meaning like rain, I would get annoyed if you get a rain out and then you got to make it up and your pitching rotation now gets screwed up. And, he's like, you can't worry about that stuff because you can't control it.
Yeah.
That was a big one. That trust your players, trust your seniors, trust your pitchers. Even if they're struggling a little bit, don't yank them right away. Give them an opportunity to get through some stuff. And then he always gave me a lot of good advice on how to deal with player situations, parent situations. Mm-hmm. I'll ask him questions on stuff like that. He's always been really good with that.
Yeah. we got to talk about it because we had Brett as our first guest, the quadruple crown.
Yeah.
The 04 team. I'm
one.
sure there's a lot of highlights from your guys, time together. But can you speak a little on that? I mean, that's just why. I mean, it's only been done one other time.
One
I
other
think
time,
CBA in 2015 did it.
Yeah. So CBA, they're probably not going to like this comment. But they should have an asterisk next to theirs because they were co-division champs.
Oh, okay.
They
didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I forget. It might have been Middletown South that they
shared it with.
Yeah, we're co-champs.
Okay.
So they were co-champs. We won everything outright.
Yeah.
So that was. I always consider us to be
some team.
a little bit higher because of that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that was unbelievable run. I remember in the beginning, we struggled early. We didn't even know if we were going to win our division.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we played a night game. I went and watched Manasquan play. I think they were playing Matawan. I forget who won or lost. I remember coming back saying, we win this game, we're going to win the division tonight. And we won the night game, won the division. And then we actually, the Monmouth County tournament was going on at the same time, and we got lucky. The bracket we were in, we made it to the finals of the Monmouth County tournament, I think, by early May. And the other side of the bracket extended theirs and waited. So we went through the short conference and a state tournament, and then all of a sudden one day we said, hey, you guys played Monmouth County finals on this day, and we didn't have to worry about it. So that helped out a lot. But
so you guys won the shore and the states before Monmouth?
No, so
okay.
I'm not even sure.
It's only 20 years ago.
That we were able to make a long run through the short conference tournament.
Yeah.
And part of the state until we had to play the Monmouth County finals. So that was one tournament. It wasn't like 3 tournaments going on at the same time.
Right, at the same time, right.
But yeah, that was, I mean, it was, we finished the season on a 14-game winning streak that year. And I just remember waking up and it was another game. There was just another game, and it was a different tournament. And it, and then I remember we went back, we pulled all the stats from all the tournaments, and it was great. In all 3 tournaments, it was like 3 different kids stepped up. So 3 kids had a great Monmouth County, 3 different had a great short conference, and 3 different had a great state offensively.
That's called a team.
Yeah, everybody kind of just pasted it together, and but that was a great group of kids. That competed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
had a lot of depth
tough.
too.
Yeah, they were multi-sport athletes. They were a lot of football players. Chris Colazzo won a state championship in soccer. But they were highly, highly competitive.
They were talented and they worked hard,
And they refused to
and they were a lot of fun, those guys.
Yeah.
They were funny.
I heard stories.
They were funny guys. Absolutely.
I heard a couple stories back in 04 where there were some parties. The only way you could get in is if you had a wall baseball apparel on.
Oh, I believe it. And a couple of those guys, and we're not going to mention any names to protect the innocent and the guilty.
Right.
They were onto the whole Jackass thing before Jackass. Like they would do these funny little
pranks,
skits and pranks and stuff. All right, so excuse this transition here. So you go from, and I like Stevie Van Zandt. I think he's great. So you go from Stevie Van Zandt to Bruce after 24 years. So you're the guy. You have the keys to the Cadillac. You're wearing the crown now. You're the head coach, head chief, whatever cliche we want to use. What was that moment like? Was it just business as usual? Did you reflect? How did that work? How did that all come about?
Well, I remember when. So Schmitty's last year was 2019. Yeah. He had gotten injured in phys ed class teaching in, I want to say, October. He tripped on a scooter. He fell back in the gym, hit his head, got a really, really severe concussion. So he was out on disability, couldn't teach, and he got cleared middle of March to come back. But he kind of had to take a back seat. He didn't run his practices as many. I was coaching third base. He was definitely running the team on game days and stuff. So I was put in a position that year to make a lot of decisions, run practices, come up with a practice plan, and that was a very, very good team. We won a state championship that year.
Yeah.
Went 27-4. So that year helped out a lot. Made the transition going into the next year being the head coach. So that helped out a lot. But I remember when I got approved by the Board of Ed, getting a lot of emails, text messages, phone calls from friends, a lot of guys I hadn't talked to in a while, former players, coaches in the Shore, teachers that I had that when I came back to teach at Wall, were starting to retire. A lot of people reached out congratulating me for taking over for Schmitty, but he recommended me for the job, which helped. And but now it was exciting. I mean, I would say arguably over the last 20 some odd years, we're one of the top 2 public schools in Monmouth County, if not the Shore.
A lot of hardware.
Year in and year out. So to be offered that job it was pretty special at the time.
Yeah. That Wall baseball carries a lot of weight. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
People, when you say that name, there's history there. Absolutely.
Well, and the fact that you're homegrown too. I mean, it's huge. I mean, when you want to see your own guys come up through the program and end up coaching and leading the program as well.
Yeah, no, it was an exciting time and a lot of fun.
So that's 2019, and then we all know what happens in 2020.
Right.
Yeah, so my first year I had 6 practices.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I had 6 practices.
You had to be chomping at the bit because this is like March 13th this all happens, and that's right around tryouts, right?
It was Friday the 13th that the governor made the announcement that there's going to be shutdowns. So we had 6 days of practice. We started practice the Friday before, and I remember the Thursday, I guess it would be the 12th, and I told the kids after practice, I really don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of rumors, but I recommend that if school gets shut down or if there's any closures, to go into the team room, get everything you have, and bring it home. Don't leave anything in the school because we could be shut down for a while.
Right.
The rumors. So I remember they canceled all after-school activities on that 13th. The governor was coming on for a press conference, and we watched it. School got out, and we watched it, and he didn't mention anything about schools closing. I think he put that at the time on every individual school. But they had killed after-school activities, and I remember leaving. I looked in the team room, and everything was gone. The kids took everything. And then I think we found out at about 5 o'clock that night that the school made a decision to shut. At that time, it was for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but it never opened
Flatten
again
the curve.
opened again until September.
So did you guys even get to play any games that day? No. So
No
it was just the 6 practices and that. Wow.
And that was it.
What I got to ask about the seniors. What was that like, telling them or keeping in contact with them? Because that's tough, right?
I mean, there was not a whole lot to tell them because nobody knew anything.
Right.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was it's going to be 2 weeks, and we're going to be back. And I remember just putting out on Google Classroom messages like, "Hey, just found out it's been extended another 2 weeks. Been extended another 2 weeks, and then unfortunately, guys, the season's been canceled." It was tough on everybody. I felt bad for those seniors because a lot of them, we just came off the state championship year, and that was a heavy senior team. So a lot of the juniors didn't play as much. So they were looking at a shot to play. I felt bad. We had one kid, Teddy Sharkey, who was on the draft radar. So he had an opportunity to break some school records his senior year, and we didn't have it. And I was really looking forward to seeing how he was going to pitch his senior year, see if he would have a shot at getting drafted, which he ended up getting drafted out of college. But
where do you get drafted?
He went in the 7th round to the Baltimore Orioles.
Wow, 7th round.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep.
What do you know? What ball he's playing now? Minor league ball.
He's in High A with the Aberdeen Ironbirds out of Maryland.
Okay.
Nice.
He's in the same league with Lakewood Blue Claws.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually saw him a couple weeks ago. He didn't pitch, but I went to the game. They were up.
Cool.
But he's going to be up, I think, 2 other times in the summer.
Oh, that's good.
July, he's coming up. Yeah, so he's there, and then we also have Trey Dombrowski. So Trey was the number 1 on the 2019 team.
Yeah.
Teddy was the number 2. Trey went the year before in the 4th round to the Houston Astros, and Trey is with the Asheville Tourists, who are Houston Astros High A.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, same league. He's in with the Lakewood Blue Claws also, but he's in the Southern Division, so he doesn't come up. So he won't make it up here. He was just pitching Brooklyn. Pitching against the Brooklyn Cyclones.
The Cyclones.
Yeah.
Did they text you every once in a while? Hey, coach.
I reach out. I actually reach out to him every now and again to see how they're doing.
Can you send me a hat?
Yeah.
That's good. I really hope they make it. I mean, that's incredible. 2 incredible stories. I remember both their names from the Co-Star.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. So our research said, and this might be old research, that at one point you guys were ranked 12th in the Shore. We had a graphic. That was your graphic. 12th in the Shore. Was it this year?
Yep.
Right. Coming off a season where más o menos. What was your number one priority for this year, for your team going into this year?
I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I knew we had some young kids, and I didn't know how they would do. I was really trying to get the senior class to come together, just work hard and make the best of our opportunities. We lost a handful of games where we had leads going into 6th inning and blew it. So that kind of hurt us. We also dealt last year with, I didn't realize it at the time, but a couple of injuries pitching-wise.
Yeah.
The boy who was our number one didn't have a great year, and then we found out I found out in the fall he was getting Tommy John surgery. So I don't know if that that probably, I'm assuming, affected how he pitched. And then Truer Brown, who's our number one right now, he was dealing with an injured finger where his skin kept bleeding every time he threw. The skin,
Really?
the skin
Wasn't a
open.
blister.
No, and he couldn't pitch because it's just blood coming down his fingers.
Right.
So
Wouldn't let
that's
him
all
pitch.
healed up. He's doing much better. But I didn't really have, the expectation. Some years you have expectations of like, well, we can make a run here, we can make a run there. I was just looking at us coming out and work, competing, and just trying to get better and see where we can fit in. And we went up game one and upset Red Bank Catholic.
Nice.
Pulled off a big upset. And
Casey's huge.
Yeah. And then we split with Monmouth Regional. And then we took 2 from Shore. And I'm looking at our standings. I'm like, all right, we got 2 losses right now. See what happens. And now we've won we won 4 in a row. And I'm telling the kids, listen, we're in a situation where we control our own destiny.
Yeah.
Red Bank Catholic got upset yesterday, so now they have 3 losses. They were tied with Monmouth with 2 losses, but Monmouth and Red Bank Catholic have to play each other still. So we're in a spot now where we control our own destiny. If we can play decent and take 2, we can take 2 from Raritan and 2 from Homedale, we can win our division, which I was not expecting to be in that spot, to be honest with you.
And you're in that spot?
Now we're in that spot, yeah. So
And we got to go see some May baseball. We got to get down there. 18th Ave, right? You're still there?
Yeah.
Been there, what 20 some odd years now, right? 18th Ave?
So we were at the municipal. So we played in 04, 05. We were at the municipal field. I think it was around 06 that we moved to 18th Ave.
It was the final. Do you guys get any night games at municipal still or no?
Very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah, the field's is not in the condition it used to be.
Okay.
And I don't think the lights are great. But there is talk. They passed a referendum about a year and a half ago. They haven't started any construction yet, but there is talk that they are going to turf the athletic complex at the high school.
Oh, wow.
And
yes, I did see that.
Put a baseball field in and bring the varsity team back to the high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. If that happens,
It's a true home.
You're ready to go back. You're ready to go back to where you played.
100%. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Shagging foul balls over there on 138.
Yeah, I don't think they let us run across.
Yeah. Those days are over.
Yeah.
You were talking about Truer Brown before. Is he your 1-2 and then TJ? Was it Laguerre? Did I say that right?
Laguerre. So
Laguerre.
Yeah, Truer is a senior. He's our one right now. But our probably 2, 3, and 4 are sophomores. We have Kristen Suarez, who's a sophomore, John Cattaneo, and then Nick Plavier, who's a sophomore. He was coming in relief a lot, but he would probably be our 4th if we have to throw. If we get 4 games in a week. Truer just Star Ledger named him one of the short conference players of the week for last week.
That's good.
Yeah, for his pitching, and then Nick Plavier got the Shore Sports Network Monmouth County Pitcher of the Week and our Division Pitcher of the Week for. He came in relief against Shore Regional, pitched 4 innings, was phenomenal. And then on Saturday, we played Monmouth County Tournament. We played Red Bank Regional and went 16 innings. Yeah. And Nick came in this, I think it was maybe the 5th inning. He ended up pitching 7 1/3 innings of shutout ball. So he got rewarded there. But TJ is mainly coming in relief. He was lights out in that 16-inning game also against Red Bank. He came in for, I think it was 4 1/3, gave up 1 hit, no runs, and 7 strikeouts. So he came in and did a great job.
How does that work now? What's the I haven't kept track. What's the pitch count rule now for pitchers, or inning rule, or it's pitch count, right?
Yeah, it's pitch count. So if you pitch between 30 and 49 pitches, you have to sit 1 day.
Okay.
And then I think it's 50 and 69 is 2 days, 70 and 89 is 3, and then 90 and above is 4 days. The max in a game is 110. You can't pitch you can only pitch 2 consecutive days, can't pitch 3 in a row.
Right. So even if you're like 30 to 40, you can't do.
So yeah, if you're 30, you're under 30.
Under 30, I mean, yeah.
If you're under 30, if you throw 25, you can pitch the next day.
Right.
But then you wouldn't be able to pitch the third day in a row. You
right.
can't pitch 3 straight days in a row.
Little more math than we're used to in baseball.
Yeah, actually, I actually took there's a printout. I printed it out off the internet, and I stapled it in our scorebook, and I'm constantly looking at it.
You have somebody laminate it for you.
Yeah, so I'm constantly looking at it, saying, all right, if he hits this, how many days rest we got? And you got to keep track.
Yeah, it's a whole spreadsheet. It's got to be a spreadsheet, right?
Going into games, you have to know who's ineligible today.
Yeah.
If you threw, and you're only allowed 150 pitches over 5 days.
Yeah.
So if you come in relief, there's times, we'll have a kid coming in and he's available for 40. That's it. Once 40 hits, we got to pull him.
Wow. A lot of math. Where can we obtain, because we want to go to a game, a Wall baseball schedule?
So you can go on the school website, and right on the high school website, there's up top extracurricular tab. You can click that, and then that'll drop down. You can click on athletics, and then it'll bring you right to a screen that'll say athletic schedules, and that's there. Or it's shoreconferencenj.org.
Okay.
And then that'll come up. It lists a bunch of schools. You can click right on Wall High School.
Coach, you guys have it?
It has all the schedules.
Do you guys have an Instagram?
Yeah, so the Instagram is Wall Knights Baseball.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Write all
that
lowercase.
Down.
All lowercase, Wall Knights Baseball.
Do you have one of the book people doing that, or is that you? Or are you Wall Knights Baseball?
Yeah, I take a job. My social media skills are... I would fail that class.
Join the club. I'm always asking Cody for tips.
Well, I've been saying the same thing. I don't want to do it. I want somebody else to do it.
But you fake it to make it. I mean, you look when you post things, it's impressive.
I guess.
No, mine are bad.
It's a lot.
Yeah, mine too.
It's boring. It's not, all we usually do is post players of the game and stuff like that. So we give out after every win, we give 2 awards out.
Yeah.
Actually, Schmitty started it with the champ of the game. It's a WWE wrestling belt that we decorated with little stickers and baseball. Cool. So that's the champ of the game, and then we have a star of the game that gets a Starburst candies.
Nice.
So we do that. So we just post the pictures on there, and then we have a Twitter account, which is Wall_baseball.
Now, if the player wins the champ of the game, I mean, they're wearing that on the bus. Can they wear it the next game?
So
what's the rules for this?
They keep it, and it's theirs. They have to bring it to every game, and then whoever wins the champ the next game, they hand it off to them. Yeah, if they want to wear it, they wear it around their waist. A lot of kids throw it over their shoulder.
Do the rock move, just throw it over their shoulder?
To the bus, but then they usually keep it in their bag in their locker, and you never really see it.
When going back to the other awards, whether it's like a newspaper award, obviously you probably get an email from the paper. Do they come in, they interview the kid, they take pictures, or is it just...
Actually, we had I only got one notification. Christian Suarez got the fan vote on Shore Sports Network for Pitcher of the Week, I think 2 weeks ago. And Matt Manley, who runs that site, he sent me a text saying, can you give me a little bio and a picture?
I wonder if it's the same Matt Manley I know.
Pretty good shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ocean County guy?
No, you know what? I'm not sure where he's from, but he's been covering local sports for a while.
I got to text him. See, Matt Manley, you said, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be very few Matt Manleys.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead, Coach. Sorry.
So he contacted me, but Truer Brown, I went on to NJO Baseball, which is the short Star Ledger.
Yeah.
And it said, players of the week in the state of New Jersey. So I was just looking down. I went, hey, Truer. I had no idea. And then the same thing with Nick when he got the Shore Sports Network. It said players of the week. And I was scrolling down, and it said Monmouth County pitcher. I'm like, whoa, Nick got it.
I always felt like, and maybe it's changed, the Ledger always had like a North Jersey bias. Obviously, they're up there, and then we were like a second thought. But has it changed now because the shore baseball has been so good for the last 20 years?
I think it's changed more because it's digital.
Yeah.
So everything's online. So now, everybody in South Jersey, I think, internet-wise, goes on it because of the top 20 and the coverage that they have. We have to report scores after every game. We have to report the scores and the pitch counts for the pitchers and the stats. Every school in the state has to do it on this website, and those scores that you post go directly to the Star Ledger website.
Yeah.
So I think because of the internet and the websites, it's
helped a
South
lot.
Jersey's gotten more, recognition.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, when it was the newspaper days, that was a North Jersey paper, and they probably got the Philadelphia paper down there.
Yeah.
It probably was even South Jersey. They probably you probably couldn't even get a Star Ledger down in South Jersey.
We had the press, Asbury Park Press, if you wanted.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the Co-Star was around then, but definitely the press if you wanted to see short baseball and all that other stuff. So, well, we're gonna do our reads, but hang here. We got more questions for you, Coach.
Have the Ducks go first.
Ducks fly together.
All right.
Experience the difference with Mighty Ducks dryer and vent cleaning. Meet Chris and Chase Jacobs, the dynamic duo behind Mighty Ducks. With our expert service, your dryer and vents will be cleaner and safer than ever before. Say goodbye to lint buildup and hello to improved efficiency. Trust Chris and Chase to keep your home safe and your appliances running smoothly. Contact Mighty Ducks Dryer and Vent. Cleaning today for quality service you can rely on. Your satisfaction is our mission. Call or text 732-925-1778 to make an appointment.
Always providing honest and ethical home services, Rochford Premium Home Services is offering premium heating, cooling, electric, and plumbing services for residents in Monmouth and Ocean counties. Whether you need a service call or you're looking to replace existing equipment, Rochford Premium Home Services has the manpower to tackle any job. Air conditioners, furnaces, boilers, generators, water heaters, car chargers, hot tub wiring. They'll even install Ring cameras. Rochford Premium Home Services, a company of quality.
All right. We changed rapid fire to hang fire when you were away.
Because
it's not quick. It just is.
It's true.
So you got it today.
So, Coach, seems like nowadays we hear more that if you're really good in a sport, you should focus on that. And now, accessibility, it's year-round. Do you agree with that model, or should kids play whatever they want to play and not get burned out from a sport?
Yeah, I'm not in agreement. I think a lot of that one sport athlete came from club and travel in all sports where you're paying the money. So now you own a business, whether it's baseball, soccer, tennis, swimming, and kids are playing year round. For you, and they're paying $7,000, $10,000 to play, those coaches want you there because that's the money coming in for them.
Right.
But no, I mean, the simple fact, and we already talked about the 04 team that won everything.
Mm-hmm.
That 04 team had, at times, 8 of 9 starters were multi-sport athletes. Mm-hmm. We had, when Brett pitched.
Yeah.
He was, actually his senior year was football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
But he was, quarterback on a state championship football team. Mm-hmm. Eddie Galante was a sophomore. He played football. Chris Lewick was first base. He was an excellent football player. Anthony Lubriciano was our second baseman. He played football. Chris Collazo was a state champion soccer player in 04. Brian Gill was a very good football player. Jordy Sofchek, excellent receiver.
All great
football.
athletes.
And then Derek Beckman.
My neighbor.
He was, I think he was like a judo, right? National ranked judo or something.
Okay.
He was so he was doing something else.
Yeah.
And then Matt DeSider was the only one sport, but Matt was a scratch golfer also.
Well, two things there. So I ran into Matt DeSider. I hadn't seen him in years at Palmer Meats. And he was there with his kid. His kid looks exactly like him. I'm like, how's this guy? And he goes, he got a cannon like you? He goes, yeah. He goes, but he's even better golfer.
Yeah, they can play. Matty D's, he's an excellent golfer. But yeah, so that, I mean, and to me, that was the reason why the 04 team was so good. They were so competitive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were competitive in multi-sports. They won in other sports. I just think the single sport athlete just starts to get complacent with what they're doing.
Just another LeBron.
Agreed. Yeah.
Actually, LeBron was good in football. He was a good wide receiver.
Sure he was.
Yeah. Derek Beckman. Did you know Derek?
I did not.
So he was neighbor over there, and still to this day, he's the only guy I know that went to Princeton.
Wow.
Right? He went to
yeah.
Princeton, right?
Yeah, we
He's the only person I've ever known in my
Actually,
whole
we
life
have,
that went to Princeton.
We have two. Well, since I've been coaching there, we've had two kids go to Princeton.
Okay.
Yeah, John Lewick graduated.
Is that Chris Luke's
Chris
brother?
Lewick's older brother.
Okay, yeah.
He graduated in 04. He went and played football at
Well, there you
Princeton.
go.
And then there
Two
was
Ivy Leaguers.
Then there was a girl that I graduated high school with, Pam Koss. She went to Princeton to play field hockey.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Princeton
we've got a
Tigers?
couple athletes out of
Yeah.
Wall go to Princeton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I only know one.
I don't think I know
Well, that's
any.
kind of glad we had more than one, right? I mean,
Yeah.
We actually had, and then we had Michael Goldblatt. He graduated.
remember that name.
2000, he graduated.
Yep.
Quarterback, wasn't he?
For a little while.
Yeah.
Yes, and then his position got moved when Chris Maleo
Yes.
became the
Yeah,
quarterback.
that's right.
But Michael went to UPenn, and then we had Chris Fortunato.
I remember that name, too.
He went to Yale. So we've
Good,
had a couple
yeah.
Ivy Leaguers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come through.
We're talking about sports all the time. We should start talking about academics at Wall.
I know,
you
right? Yeah.
I mean, we say it all the time. I mean, Wall's got some sharp people.
Yeah.
And then, whether we have this show or not only are they people sharp, they want to give back. I mean, it's, double whammy there. I mean, double threats.
Yeah.
It's really
Absolutely.
incredible.
So are there any rule changes? I mean, obviously you saw in baseball last year with the pitch clock. Is there any rule changes that are going on now that you agree with or anything like that?
Yeah, they made one or two big ones. They changed, which for coaches is so much better. They allow jewelry now, so you don't. have
for
to
the
get-
kids. Good.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
don't have to get on a kid who's got the
necklace. Yeah.
doesn't want to take it off because someone in their family
Put-
gave it to him.
yeah.
It means so much to him.
Putting the
I gotta,
Band-Aid on the earring.
Yeah, and then they I'll take it off, and they put it in their jersey, and then it
Yeah.
falls back out. So they got rid of that. Then they had the worst rule in all of sports. You were allowed to wear sunglasses, but if you're going to take them off, you were not allowed to put them on your hat.
Really?
So sunglasses, yeah, and then they got rid of that rule. So you can wear your, whatever, the clouds go in,
Yeah.
cover the sun or something like that. You don't want them, you can take them off, put them on your hat now.
Who makes these rules? The NJISA?
Actually, those came from, I think, National Federation of High Schools. Yeah.
okay.
But they ended up, I think, polling a bunch of coaches, and the
Yeah.
coaches wanted to get rid of those rules, and they did. So
Nice.
that was good.
Do you get that every year? Do you get like a
Yeah, we
Google
get
sheet
it.
every year? And
Yeah, we'll get an update on new rules.
do you have like a short coach meeting that you go to and help change rules?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Well, we have a shore coach association. We monthly meetings from December usually till June, and usually at the December one, January one, they will go over give us a handout of the new rules. But I usually get an email from the athletic director.
Yeah.
Whatever new rules are coming in.
What are the rules like now with off-season workouts? Like, still coaches can't be a part of that, or
No, we're only allowed, and this is for all. Obviously, your season.
Yeah.
You can be with your team, and then when the last spring sport ends, so it's usually either baseball or track.
right?
When that last state final is, the summertime, you can do anything you want, every sport, until the first official.
Right. You could coach in the summer
Yeah, so
too. The summer ball. Right. Yeah.
So your fall, winter, spring teams, you can do whatever you want up until the first official practice day of the fall season. Then you have to stop.
Okay.
Next up, analytics. Love them or hate them. They're in every sport now.
Yeah, I mean we don't.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it with pitch counts. You have to do it with pitch counts, right?
It's hard in
Yeah.
high school because in order to do analytics, you need a
Need
lot
a whole
of data.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Major League Baseball, college.
Yeah.
These guys, there's so much scouting and access to. Someone has 300 at bats, and you can get the spray chart, and you see exactly where they're, going to hit it. 90% of the time, you can figure out how to shift your offense, and shift your defense. But high school's tough. We get. Hey, we played him the other day. This kid went to the left side 3 times, and then his next at bat, the first game hits it to the right side.
To the right
So you're
side,
like, it's hard. There's not a whole lot in high school because
Yeah.
you just don't have the data. You don't have the
Yeah.
research.
It's more by memory, like it's always been, right?
Yeah, or,
like you
you
just
know.
said, he hit it. He's a pull hitter,
Yeah.
and then you put the guys over
But
there.
I'm
to go
not.
to the-
I mean, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's made the game, major league game. I think it's made it boring.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's either strikeout or home run, right?
The shifts on, and the days of the 300 hitters are
Yeah.
in major league. They're almost over because
Yeah.
they know exactly where to play the defense. Those days are over, and then the days of your 300 winners and pitching are over because of pitch counts. So
Right.
yeah, I just think it's made it a little bit boring.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we talked about this. I find it hard to watch a pro game these days.
Yeah.
Even with the pitch clock, which I think was great. It's either feast or famine. You're either seeing guys strike out or hit home runs.
It's definitely the pitch clock has definitely sped up.
Yeah. What was they say
game.
about 15 minutes to 20 minutes a game?
Some of those games now they're getting over quicker. But I remember watching some of those Sunday night games are 4 hours long. Yankee Red Sox would be a marathon.
Next up, favorite coaching story. If you can tell it.
On air.
So I can tell it. I can tell it. I'll leave names out, but we had a we're talking about the 04 season, and we got rained out. So we were supposed to play state finals on a Saturday down at Toms River East, and the game got rained out. It poured that Saturday. So the game got moved to, I think it was 6 o'clock at night on Monday at Toms River East. And so the bus leaves to go down to Toms River, get on the Parkway. And we had an assistant coach. And funny guy, good guy. And everybody was fine. And then we're getting, Schmitty's looking at him. You all right? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And a couple minutes later, you don't look too good. You're all right? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Next thing you know, he's clutching his hands on a bus seat. He's got to go to the bathroom. And now finally he just says, he yells at the bus driver, you got to pull over. Find the first gas station. You got to pull over. You got to pull over, whatever. So the kids are like not paying attention. They're nervous. It's very tense.
Yeah.
And so they pull into an Exxon. A couple kids pop their head up, looking around, what's going on. And they see him run in, get the key to the bathroom, come out, and then he runs back, puts the key back into to the gas station attendant. Gets on a bus, sits down, and the bus starts to pull away, and then one of the kids in the back of the bus made like a fart noise. And the whole bus just erupted in laughter, but that was like the icebreaker.
Yeah.
That broke the ice, and the kids got off the bus at Toms River. I mean,
totally loose
too.
too.
Oh yeah, they were loose. They were laughing like it was almost like tears in your eyes laughing. It was so funny. But that was
off air. I could guess who made the fart noise. Yeah, absolutely.
That was
I got like 3 people. I think it could be.
Yeah, that was funny.
Your hitting philosophy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Fastballs. Swing at fastballs early in the count. Yeah, don't swing at breaking balls, off-speed pitches until you get 2 strikes. Look for a fastball early. If it's there, just try to get a line drive. I'm not a fan of. I constantly tell the kids, like, you get in the box, and the kid throws your first pitch fastball, you look at it. And everybody's like, like, oh, good pitch. Yeah, I can hit this kid. And then next thing he throws you a slider. You swing and a miss, and now you're 0-2.
0-2, yeah.
And now you're fighting out of a hole because you've let the best pitch go right by. But that's number one. Just see fastball, hit fastball. Don't swing at anything off speed until you get 2 on you.
Nice.
I mean, you have 30 years of coaching in high school. Do you feel like it's 99 times out of 100 first pitch fastball?
Not necessarily.
No.
Depending upon your hitter, your spot in the order. But a lot of times you can see pitchers getting in rhythms where, he's starting every kid off with a fastball. He's starting every kid off speed. Let it go.
Yeah.
Look for a fastball. But, I mean, it's high school baseball. If the pitcher is ahead of the count, you're probably going to see something off speed. If the batter's ahead of the count, he's going to be throwing you a fastball because he's not going to want to walk you.
Right, he doesn't want to walk you.
Yeah, so it's you don't have major league pitchers that can throw a 3-1 slider for a strike. Most likely you're going to be seeing a fastball.
Right. Now, coming from a football guy, obviously watching film and stuff, will you break down a guy's swing or anything like that, or you just kind of let him roll with it and figure it out?
Yeah, not really. I mean, most of these kids go to their own
YouTube, stuff like that.
They go to their own hitting coaches.
Yeah.
Most kids play travel.
No, Mike Condon was big back in the day. Does he still do it? Does Mike still do
Mike's
it?
a good friend of mine. A lot of kids go to
I like Mike. He was a good guy. Seton Hall, right?
Yeah.
He was a Seton Hall guy?
He got drafted. He played with the California Angels for a little while. Yeah. Really good guy. Good friend of mine. Some kids go there. Other kids have travel teams, so they have their hitting coaches. I don't mess with too much of that. I'll just kind of keep telling them you're swinging at bad pitches, or you got to look to get ahead of the count early. But as far as their swing goes, they got their own guys, and they're not going to listen anyway.
Favorite player growing up?
I was I still am, Met fan. My favorite team of all time are the '86 Mets.
86.
That you guys are probably
There's only one. Yep.
way too young.
I
for
read
that,
the book.
right?
The Bad Guys won.
Oh yeah, there you go.
With Dwight Gooden and
Yeah.
Darryl Strawberry on the plane home when they won
were-
the NLCS. Yeah.
They were nuts.
They just honored Strawberry too, didn't they?
No, they honored Gooden.
Doc,
That's
yeah,
right.
They're
Doc.
gonna do Strawberry later.
That's right.
But I mean, I loved like Garrett Carter, Dwight Gooden,
Yeah.
Keith Hernandez, Strawberry. I loved all those guys. Those were the guys I loved. But I was also a big George Brett fan.
Okay.
Loved Tony Gwynn. You know,
Tony Gwynn with it. Well, you were talking about averages before. Tony Gwynn was my guy.
he was insane.
Yeah.
But
330 lifetime hitter.
yeah.
And he just put the ball in play. Never struck out.
But I liked all those guys on the Mets.
Nice. Yeah, Strawberry actually was in Ocean Grove, I say, about 6
Was he
months
really?
ago. He's like a religious guy now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing
Oh, really?
yeah.
He's kept clean living. I actually saw Doc Gooden on Michael K. I actually went to Michael K. This is about 10 years ago, maybe now. Center stage.
Okay.
And Doc was the guest, and he didn't look too good.
No, he didn't look too good in his.
Did you? Where did you go to the game? Did you go to the? Or did you saw it on TV?
I saw some
Yeah.
highlights when they honored him. He didn't. Darryl looked good, but
Yeah.
Doc did not look. I mean, he didn't even. When they won the World Series in '86, so it was different back then. Like now, you win a World Series, win a Stanley Cup, it's you win, and then a day later, it's hey, the ticker tape parade will be next Wednesday.
Right.
Right.
Well, back then, the parade was the next day, so he never made it to the parade.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, he ended up in a crack house somewhere.
Yeah.
He never made it.
That's insane.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I remember when I started watching baseball, those guys were at the tail end of their Mets careers. But one of the great moments was, for me, was Doc's no hitter
No hitter with the Yankees.
with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And was that the same year that Cone threw the perfect game, or was it? It
I
was
don't
right. It
know.
was right around the same time. But that was pretty special that he was able to do that. But yeah, I hope he's got to be in his 60s now, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah. So I hope he's
Yeah.
seen better days now. You know.
Favorite player now, Met or non-Met?
You know what? I'm 50 years old. My days of having favorite players are kind of over.
You don't wear any. So this is actually a good question. So, any current players, do you wear their jerseys or no?
I only own, and Cody's gonna love this one.
Yeah.
I think I own 5 jerseys,
Okay.
and they're all Rangers.
Oh, and we're going to talk
They're all
about that.
hockey jerseys.
There's a reason that I'm
But it's
wearing
like,
this
you know
hat
what?
today, Cody.
I know.
I find hockey to be different. Like,
Yeah.
you go to a game and everybody's in a hockey jersey.
Yeah, it's just a
You
different
go to a baseball
crew.
game or a football game, a lot of guys are in sweatshirts, t-shirts. They don't. But hockey is so different, where
Yeah.
it's like you have to be in a jersey. You
gotta wear the sweater.
It's just a different
100%.
atmosphere, different everything.
Somebody's
you know?
telling me that if you want to stitch hockey jersey, it's like $270. Did you hear about that?
The good ones, yeah. If you buy like an authentic one at the arenas, yeah, they're like $275. But you
Yes.
can get the knockoff ones for
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
100.
And they look the same.
Yeah.
But they usually don't fit as good.
Right.
But but they look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know.
But
the difference.
as far as players go, I mean, I like honestly, I will.
You got a Mets
follow-
jersey? You got a Messier jersey?
No, I have a Messier.
Graves?
I have Graves.
Let's see if I can do that. That's 2. You got Richter?
No, so Messier and Graves are the only 2 former players.
Okay.
And then I got Panarin, Kreider.
Breadman. They're bringing all those bread pillows down to the games. Did you see that?
Yeah, and Zibanejad.
Zibanejad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kreider, Panarin, Zibanejad, and then Graves and Messier.
How about that goal last night? Top shelf. Was that deflected, his goal?
I don't remember.
I mean, but it was top shelf. It was beautiful.
They gave you scare at the end of the game, though, no?
They did a little bit.
I knew when I didn't hear back from you. You were stressed out.
Yep. When the group chat goes silent, and you don't hear from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as far
Big deal.
as like baseball players, I pretty much anything I follow or look into mostly local guys that are playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, our kids that are in the minors, and then
Yeah.
there's some other kids in the area that are in the minors. Mike Trout's a New Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, right?
Yeah.
So
Willie Mays said that Mike Trout and Willie Mays is still alive. God bless him. Willie Mays is 94 years old. We don't talk about him enough. Greatest living ball player, and probably one of the greatest players of all time. He said since he's been retired, there's only one guy that he thinks comes close to him, and it's Mike Trout.
Really?
In terms of the 5 tools.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always referred to Ken Griffey Jr. as the Willie Mays of my era.
I love Ken Griffey
thought
Jr., yeah.
I thought he was right there with, I thought he was the best all-around player when I
Yeah.
have been alive for.
Yeah, he was the most excited. What happened to him? Did he have back injury
he
with
had some
Cincinnati?
injuries with Cincinnati.
Still hit like 600 home runs though, right?
Yeah, he made. He was one vote shy of getting 100% into the Hall of Fame. Wow. But speaking of like I said, local players and stuff.
Yeah.
Back in 2019, when we won a state championship with Trey and Teddy, we had one of our losses was to CBA in a 1-0 game. They scored a run in the top of the 7th on 2 outs, first and third. We should have let the kid take second base. They stole.
Yeah.
And they did a first and third situation that we did not defend correctly, and they scored a run. So that was Trey. That was Trey's only loss. He was pitching for us. He went in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure. What did we do? About 22. I think he got drafted in 2022.
Okay.
So the pitcher for CBA was Patrick Riley, who ended up going and pitching at Vanderbilt. He went in the same draft in 22 with Trey in the 5th round. So that was a fourth and a 5th rounder pitching. And then the state finals, we beat West Morris Central in the state final that year, 10-2. And the pitcher for West Morris Central was this kid Connor Stain, who went to University of Maryland, and he went in the 5th round.
That's amazing.
So that was another 4th and a 5th rounder pitching, and you don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
And you look back and you're like, geez, you got a 4th and a 5th rounder pitching in these games.
There's always been guys every once in a while that have been drafted, but do you think in the last couple of years a lot of short guys are getting drafted more than the last 30?
Well, yeah, because they're getting now with social media and the internet, they're getting more recognition.
Yeah.
So I mean, kids are posting things on their Twitter accounts. Guys, you got these other businesses that promote kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting stuff out, so it's a lot easier for scouts, college coaches, everybody to see the talent throughout the whole country now.
Yeah.
Just because you can look it up online.
Yeah, you're going to Vandy. I mean, it's out there. It's Midwest, right? Is that Indiana?
No, it's Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Nashville.
History teacher, really good in geography. I was thinking Purdue, if for the record.
So last question,
Yeah.
and then I'll ask you another one that's not on here.
Sure.
I got one too.
Where do you see the game of baseball in 20 years? And just to jump back into the Mets, do you see Steve Cohen re-signing Pete Alonso, or does he let him go?
Ooh.
I mean, I
Polar bear.
hope they re-sign him. I like him. I think he's a good guy. He's a great player. Cohen's got enough money that he can keep him.
Loaded.
And then get more talent. But I hope they keep him. And then as far as the game of baseball, I'll say high school baseball around here. The thing that is going to hurt baseball is lacrosse. There's a lot of kids growing up that are playing lacrosse. It's obviously a lot more entertaining, a lot more fun. If you're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, running around with a stick and hitting kids, a lot more fun than freezing out in right field.
Yeah.
So
especially in March and April and
those
May.
Kids that play that, they'll never, back before lacrosse, there was no other sport in the spring but baseball. And we're seeing it. Numbers are lower, and we're seeing it throughout the whole Shore Conference. There's teams that have been very good that they don't have freshman teams anymore because the numbers are so low in sub-varsity that, boys lacrosse is putting
It's really taking
major
off.
effect on high school baseball in this area.
Wow.
I got one. This is a trivial question. You sunflower seed guy? And if so, what's your favorite one? I got it. There's so many flavors now.
Dill pickle.
The dill.
Dill pickle.
Yes, the dill pickle.
Actually,
is
and
the
you know
best.
what? So sunflowers,
Yeah.
there's only one place to buy them, and it's at the Quick Check right around.
Yes.
They
Yep.
have. They have like 10 different flavors. They're always stacked with them. But the only problem with sunflower seeds is the salt makes your inside of your mouth prune up, and then you're thirsty all the time. So I'm 50. I used to eat them all the time, but 50-50 now. But dill pickle is definitely the best.
What's your pregame ritual, in-game ritual? Do you have any rituals that you do in the dugout, outside of the dugout, anything like that?
No. I used to. And it's funny. I actually had a lot of superstitions in that 04 season. Because we were playing so many in a row that I remember that year I had to wash for some reason, I had to wash my uniform after every game. Or it had to be washed before every game. And we were playing, I was teaching in a middle school at the time at Wall Intermediate. And I remember I would bring it in because I would forget to wash it at night. I would bring it in and I would go to the home ec room because they had washers and dryers, and I would wash it during the school day. But then I realized this is so stupid. Like, so then I went on this big couple years of making sure I'm not doing superstitious, because just to prove that it's not true. But I don't really have too many. I have my routine with, in school where I have a pad, a legal pad, and I do the lineup on there, make sure I have all the bench players, make sure I have the pitchers that are ineligible that day, pitch count wise.
Yeah.
Then I put it in a lineup card, then I got to put it in the book. We have a dugout card I put on there, then I got to put everything into Game Changer on the iPad, and then make sure everything's stacked in my bag. That's pretty much the only pregame rituals that I have.
Are you Joe Torre? Are you sitting on the bench during a game, or are you up on the fence?
No, there's no sitting in high school. Half of these dugouts are so bad that you sit down, you can't see anything.
Yeah, right? That's true. Yeah,
and then all the kids are up on a fence, so you have to stand.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I actually would probably prefer a nice dugout where you could sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I always wondered how Torre could just sit there and just. Remember Jim Laritz's used to smoke a cigarette during the games?
Yeah, Jim Leland did that too.
He used to smoke darts.
We would play at like Lakewood.
Oh, Jim Leland. I said Laritz. Yeah, Jim Leland. Yeah.
We would play at Lakewood at the Blue Claws, and like, oh, this is nice. Let's sit down. I don't know. Maybe those guys are so much bigger. I couldn't see anything. Wow. You sit there and you got the railing in front of you. I'm like, I can't see here. I can't see. I can't see anything.
Any rituals with the Rangers?
Yeah, we just do the same thing. Get on a train. We usually go to the same bar.
Yeah.
And
which bar do you guys go to?
Molly Way.
Molly
Way is my favorite. Yeah.
We were at the was it Celtic Rail on Sunday.
I don't know where that one is.
I'll get you the streets. I was with I told you off air, Davey Middleton, who's Mr.
Yeah.
Now he's a very superstitious guy, and this year he's anti-superstitious. Like him and his wife went to Toronto to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he touched the cup.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, they would never do that.
Good.
And you're a hockey guy.
I've touched it.
Well, maybe that's why you guys have 3
maybe.
Stanley Cups, and the Rangers only have 1 in the last 30 years. And he goes, I'm going to be the reverse of this year, and I hope it works.
Everybody has their own superstitions. It just ends up getting in your head and taking over. I mean, it's up to you, really. You know. Do you have any good train stories for us? Because I don't take the train up to games.
No, I mean, no.
Anymore.
We got some nightmares. I know, yesterday that we went to catch 419, that was canceled. So we had to wait. That's happened a couple times.
And so it was a 7:00 game, right?
We had one time we came
Where do you take it out of?
Metro.
Metro. Okay,
If I take my daughter, I'll drive to Secaucus.
Yeah, Secaucus is so easy, right?
Yeah. We had one. We came out of the game. It was something with Amtrak. All the trains were shut down. We're looking at there's 4 of us looking at how we getting home, and we had to call an Uber.
Yeah.
And split the Uber fee.
I don't even want to ask how much that Uber was.
We had to take an Uber from Madison Square Garden to Metro Park.
Don't say Amtrak in my house
Not too
now.
many. There's not too many good train stories. But a lot of bad ones.
I have a good story that happened to me on Monday. I was wearing this Ranger hat. We took the kids, my students, to Allaire Village, and it was lunchtime, so all the kids are eating, and there's other schools there, and this kid was like 8 years old. He had like a walking boot on, and he walks by me. He goes, "Rangers suck."
Devils or Islanders?
Had to be a Devils fan. No way he was an Islander fan.
Oh, they're
Definitely
out there.
definitely a Devils fan, especially with the boot on his leg.
Oh yeah. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
You got anything else outside?
No, I'm going to stick around for the. We're just going to do some local news, Coach. If you want to interject, you can.
Sure.
We obviously want to touch on the Landon Shanklin story.
Absolutely, yeah.
Had his
Shanklin
surgery.
Strong 18 on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes. Had his surgery the other day at CHOP. What'd you say? It was 15 hours.
That's what they said in the post.
And they post everything looks like it went as planned.
Yeah.
And we have him in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely, and Shanklin Strong 18 is the Instagram handle, and he looks great in the photos.
Yes.
I think he said Dr. Kennedy was his doctor, who's like world renowned. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
So just prayers keep going out to the family, Landon. He's definitely going to be stronger when he comes out of this, and.
And I believe their GoFundMe's still up. I think they're at 130,000. I think the last time I checked.
That's
which
great.
is amazing.
Yeah, Wall PBA definitely has it
Yes.
as one of the posts on Instagram. So if you follow Wall PBA, you could get the link to GoFundMe.
All right.
So yeah.
Got anything else?
Just a couple updates.
I'm still in vacation mode.
You're
so
on vacation
I
mode?
I came unprepared today.
We have Meatball Gala, May 14th.
Yes, that's right. You are a meatball
I'm the
contestant.
judge. And we made a deal on 25. I got to eat
Over
25.
under 25.
So I'm going to take the over.
It's you, the mayor, the chief, and a couple others, I believe.
Should I tell you who's going to win?
Who's going to win?
I'm not going to tell you the name because I don't know who's in it. But anybody whose meatball tastes like my grandmother's, who was second generation Italian American, that's the person that's going to win.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you who's.
No, don't bias this at all. No, no dirty pool in this. I don't want to know. But I'm going to tell you, just based on if they could duplicate that meatball, which no one really has, they're going to get my vote, 100%.
Right. Cool. I want to see 25 meatballs.
25.
You have to eat 25 meatballs?
He wants me to.
That's a side bet.
That's our side bet.
He's one of the judges.
Good
But
luck on that one.
I've done apple pie before, and towards the end of that, it's like the Pete and Elda's challenge. You know, you just keep tasting the same thing, and you're like, mechanical and
right.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that they asked me to do it because it's gonna be a lot of fun. Time. We got any updates on Bobby Scholl? I know that's coming up. The Bobby Scholl Foundation. Was it May 6th?
May 6th.
You and I are going to be there. If anybody wants to volunteer, please use their Facebook and contact either Kyle or Brett. Right.
And I believe, can they still sponsor? Or are they all wrapped up with that?
It said that they were closed, but let's just say they're not. Just to reach out anyway.
Yeah, I think they would take. Sponsors.
Yeah, take some more sponsors.
I think they'll take sponsors up until up until tea time.
Are you? Well, you're in the middle of the season. Are you?
I haven't made it over there because it's
crunch time for you.
Baseball, a game or something. But I'm going to try to make it. If we have practice, I'm going to try to get up there for the dinner.
Yeah,
nice.
It's an all day affair, so this is good.
But I can definitely not. I can't golf. There's no way. I would miss practice game when I said.
But do you golf?
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, Don't we all?
Not very good at it.
What are you shooting these days, Coach?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
So I haven't played a round of golf in a long time.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I got to get back into it.
Yeah. That's your. When the season's done, that's.
Yeah, we actually have our own golf outing.
Really?
Yeah, this year it's in late July, I think, at Jumping Brook.
Oh, nice.
So Brett is on the committee with the Sukis.
Yep. Okay.
They help out. Yeah.
Cool.
So once the season ends, I'll start figuring more out. I'll get you information on it.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'd love that. Touch a Truck is this Saturday at Municipal.
Yes.
10 to 2.
Yep.
Bring your kids. Touch a truck. Have fun. I think they have
Tom Rochford will be out there.
Tom
as well.
Rochford. Oh, I got to see these trucks.
That's
Tom
the first
Rochford
time I
trucks.
ever saw them. I mean, they just stick out, man.
Yeah.
You'll see them.
I saw them. I told you I saw them once before after we had them on. So
hopefully Jim's there as well.
Jimmy G. Shout out to Jimmy G. And Love Parker, May 19th at Municipal. They have their fun run. I think we're going to volunteer for that. Superhero run.
Yes.
Yeah. Dressed like a superhero. And that's a great cause where they help kids out with music and with sports.
Music and sports for kids who have suffered from childhood trauma.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should be a great event as well.
And who do we have next week?
That's a good question. I told you I was unprepared today.
Dealer's choice.
I'm sorry. We have Mr. Malone on.
Mayday Malone.
Yes.
Oh, we got to talk about D-Day. I got to do
D-Day.
He's gonna love all this stuff.
Yes. Oh yeah. He's gonna.
I got to do my D-Day homework. Maybe watch a little Saving Private Ryan.
Great one.
Just the beginning
great
scene.
One.
So, Coach, thanks again. Appreciate it. It was great seeing you.
Fun, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
All right. Good luck with the season. We'll try to get to a game.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
We'll
Thanks.
see you.